Well, good evening. I never did the review last night. I was in an absolute coma from the pizzling the bookies took on the Kensington track yesterday. Uh, you think they didn't give it to the captains? They found every winner. I even lost on the 40-1 chance at one. I'm the biggest googie egg of all times. Now, we had a swag of meetings, of course, during the week. Today we had Hawkesbury and there was Nowra on, and they are cracking jokes. This filthy TAB having all of these meetings on. They're the ones who control it. And by the way, I didn't tell you this, but I've had 4 or 5 blokes pull me aside in the last couple of weeks, and they said, sell your tab shares. So I haven't got any. I said, well, if you don't buy any, whatever you do. I said, of course I would. I said, it's a house of cards, I'm telling you now. They say it can collapse any minute. So why is that? Being a little bit facetious, I said, well, it's not a sustainable model. It's just not going to, it's not going to work. They can't keep on giving these rebates that they're giving everybody, and the pools are decreasing by the minute. I said, they're not. Yes, they are. Sell your tab shares. I'm telling you, get out while the going's good. It's about to collapse. And they say that they're talking about they're going to sell Canterbury Racecourse. They were on there during the week, Canterbury. You know, why don't they just, they say, I heard the chap on the outgoing CEO of the ATC, apparently at the beginning of next year, in a month or so, he's saying that every time they open the gates at Canterbury, they run at a loss. Well, why open the gates? No one. They should close the gates. I'm not being sensible. I was talking to a couple of other bookmakers about this on Wednesday, and punters agree. Close the gates. You don't have to have upstairs there for 2 busloads of pensioners who cost you money to have them come to the track, and just had the bookmakers and their clerks and the regular punters who come there, and you've only got to have one fella out the front gate, and if a punter does come along, so yes, you're quite welcome to come in, but and just you'll cut your costs, and there's a chance you might turn it around. Of course, get rid of the TAB, and you will turn it around. But gee whiz, it would be a huge mistake selling Canterbury. Down the 20 years goes in a flash. 20 years time, they'll say, who were the ones who said we should be selling Canterbury? Look, we've had a spate of bad weather and the tracks can't hold up. Warwick Farms torn apart. Oh my God. And the Randwick track and oh no. Rose Hills. Oh, where's Canterbury? Oh no, there's a golf course there now. Oh, there's apartments, and there are apartments. We sold it. You still got the money? Oh no, all the money we sold Canterbury, it's gone. We gave it out in rebates and also paying everyone $300 to start their horses in the country meetings every day, so the punters can back them. It's just not a sustainable model what's happening there now. At Canterbury, there were the 7 races on Wednesday. The track was good. The rail was 3 metres out. 7 races, 5 leaders got home. It wasn't completely seen it worse, where it's just been diabolical fence, where everyone has been on the fence at one stage. There were a couple that were offered, but 5 leaders out of the 7. Social rank, who hasn't been going very well in the 5th race, well, of course, it found the bunny, and it was able to keep on going. So emphasising how what an advantage it was being on leading on the fence and saving ground on the fence. And the meeting at Canterbury on Wednesday, it would have been, I would say, since bookmaking started in Australia, I'd say it was the smallest turnover for bookmakers at a city meeting. At a city meeting, um, ever since racing started, our main pro, he's overseas. He's gone. He's over there having a lovely time. He stripped us the last few weeks, and he's having his Christmas break. And one of the other pros, he didn't play. One of the other pros, he didn't play. There was only one pro, a couple of pros playing, and they didn't really take part. And of course, the card players are out there. Well, they didn't know what to do. But, oh yes, they did know what to do. That's why they're still there. They put their hands in their skyrockets and they didn't take them out all day because they said, wait there, nothing's going off. The pros men aren't running around, and we like to see what they back, and then we back them as well. But because they're not betting, neither are we. That's how hard and tough we are, and they were our customers. No wonder the bookies' turnover was so low on Wednesday at Canterbury. So that was that meeting. And then, of course, we went to Gosford, where there was a very strong wind came up during the day. It was an absolute gale there at one stage. And look, there was only there was nothing wrong with the fence. The track was good on Thursday at Gosford. The rail was in the normal position. As I say, a very, very strong wind. A little bit maybe difficult if you went really hard in the lead on the fence to win, but I'm not going to say there was any bias on the track at Gosford. The fence seemed okay to me, and that was about the meeting. It was a fairly ocean liner meeting. There were very few grumble and grunters there, and of course our main pro, he's away, as I just said, for the Christmas period, and there was only one there playing, and it was very difficult. It was a very tough little game. We went to, of course, the Kensington meeting yesterday, the Kenzo meeting. On the track was given out dead, upgraded to good. It was a good track, rail normal, and there was a very light before the first nor'easterly, but it whipped up a little bit to be a bit stronger in races 3 and 4 and 5 maybe, and then eased off. Although race 6 it was a little bit more swinging around coming out of the north, but then it eased off again in races 7 and 8. And there was no bias on the track. You could lead on the fence and win, and also come from behind if there was enough pace. Now, yesterday at Kensington, in this first race, they said there was 105.2 on the screen for the robots, but there was only the neat spot in the ring for them in the marketplace. We played swai with the grumble and grunters, the ones that were there, less the Toyota Lexus. And who won this race? Oh, it was won by the Avery, St. Joran, emphasising it, even though it did get the soft run along the fence last start, it wasn't a fluke. And ridden by Clever Karen, it sat in fourth position. Flying Sebring ran along in the lead. I own the lead, trains at Gay, and but in a close finish, margins 0.5 by 0.6. The 3 in the market crossed the line with the favourite beating the third pick made to order, and Amavotio, who chased Flying Sebring. It was only beaten 0.6 of a length. Bowman, I'm not calling him a horseman Bowman anymore. He's reached his peak. He won't get 1 inch better for the rest of his life. He's reached it, but he won't get any better. It's like a golfer. When you get to your handicap and you reach a certain level, well, that's about it. and he dropped his rein here, but it didn't make any difference. But the margin only 0.5 by 0.6. He dropped his offside rein and couldn't gather it. I thought there was something wrong with his shoulder at one stage, but there wasn't. The favourite, St. John, was just a little bit too strong. The second race, they said there was 107.3 on the screen. There's only 98 in the marketplace. Well, look, I can see 5% straight away, and that is with the favourite, Octagon. Well, they said the best fluck was $3. Well, there was $3.50 given on the fence. $3.50 on the fence, $3.50 in the outside ring, and $3.40 on quite a few boards on the fence. I don't know how they came up with $3. That best flucked business, isn't it? It's not wonderful if you're punting. It's great for the captains. It's great for us captains. This race was won by one of the runners. Only 3 runners that had a start. The favourite Occitan, unencumbered the winner, and number 2 Tantrum Telstra. It copped a bit of a check at the start, unencumbered, and another little bump in the run. It sat back in third last position, eased off their heels, got to the outside, and won by 1.3 lengths. Everybody saw what happened with number 4, Delectation. It missed the kick, by 3 lengths. I've been on this Pooty Blue. You would have seen me this morning after last night. Oh, you have got no idea. It's a Gia bottle. It's just the cream of the cream. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, it missed a kick, Delectation, by 3 lengths. And I wonder what would have happened when they turned for home if he actually would have got onto the back of unencumbered instead of going through the comics. He didn't get held up, but he was sort of tightened a little bit and wanting a little bit of galloping room. And even though he got beat 1.3 lengths, I wonder if he would have got to followed the winner and got to his outside, easing off his heels after they topped the rise. Well, there's not a big rise, as I say, at Kensington, but after they flattened out, whether he might have run him down. Most certainly, if he would have come out of the barrier, there's a good chance he would have been in front of it, and most probably would have beaten it. But we all saw what happened there. Race 3, 104.4 for the robots up in the grandstand, betting the members and all the other steamers up there as well. 98% only in the marketplace. And that's where you should be if you're punting, down where the best odds are given all the time. And so that's 6% less in the marketplace. These were the flux in that race. Instrumentalist, it went from $3 out to $3.30. Perplexity, it went from $5 out to $6.50 back into $6. 17 out to 21 Presido. Tenacious, now let me get this. This Pooty Blue makes me Tenacitus. It was $3 out to $3.20 or 30 back into $3. We had Windbender, $6 out to $7.50 back into $5.50. The winner was 30 to 40, and Super Cavalier was 200 out to 400. Not the 104 that they said. No, a lot less. And what happened here? Viking Legend. It sat in fifth or sixth position on the back of Instrumentalist, and when they turned for home, on its back was the Avery Tenacitus, and ridden by bold Blake Shin. He ambled up to the leaders, and it got past. Most probably, there's a good chance it got a half length in front of Viking Legend, but Viking Legend, ridden by D. Thornton, who sits on all right, it finished up finding the line a little bit stronger than him to nose him out, 0.1 by 0.3. The runner that Viking Legend got on the back of was Instrumentalist, and it finished up. It ran third, but it was only 1.3 lengths away, and the leader Windbender. It's funny, they queried Father Schofield leading, and he said, well, there was no pace, and I agree with him, and he went straight to the lead. it was only beaten in fourth position 1.4 lengths. The others were sort of well back. Now we got to race 4. They were on the screen for the robots. Oh, only 100.4. They were playing swine with the Nevers. 3 less in the marketplace, 97%. Now this was ridden by Bowman. Bowman. He said, "Oh yes," he said, "this needed the calming influence of my lovely hands to get it home. Anyone in the world would have won on this. We would have put these were the riders in this race: K. McAvoy, J. Ford, B. Shin, B. Abdullah, N. Barry, G. Father Schofield, and P. Roble. Anyone would. I would have won on it. Of course, this is the horse calming influence where Surge Disneyland he got the month's holiday from the Stipes. You know, he put his hand up and he didn't appeal against the decision. Well, we all know he went very fast, but you know, I think if he would have appealed and had a smart lawyer, the lawyer could have easily got Nash Rawiller to come along, and I think he would have could have easily asked Surge Disneyland, yes, would it be fair to say, Surge, that you would be in the bottom 1% of riders in the world? Oh, well, I suppose I am. Yes, Mr. And thank you very much. You went very quick on that horse. Now, Mr. Nash Rawiller. Oh, yes. Now, would it be fair to say that you would be in the top 1% of riders in the world? Nash should say, are you cracking jokes? I'm in the top 0.5% of the best riders in the world. Oh, well, yes, I'll agree with you. And where were you in the run? Oh, well, I was going 100 mile an hour chasing Surge Disney. Oh, yes, you're in the top 0.5% and he's in the bottom 0.5%. You went 100 mile an hour chasing him. You got past him. When? Oh, just after they did the ride. Oh, yes, and then the thing come down the outside and gave me a wind burner. Gee whiz, it's given him a month. I think a lot of people agree with me. I thought it was a bit severe, giving him a month. You know, these races can't be run how everybody thinks they're going to be run all the time. It becomes it's so boring there now, it becomes a little bit more boring. Oh, yes, we knew how it goes to the, now, number 1 goes there, and 4 goes there, and 2 sits on the south side, and 3 gets there, and they run 36 to the first 600, and they come to turn and sprint. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. It's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. No wonder one of the rest. That's a joke. Race 5, 104.8 on the screen, 101 only in the marketplace. This was won by the Avery, Solomon, ridden perfectly, timed, judged ride by Karen. It set a nice stiff pace out in the lead, Madam Nash, with Done Nothing Wrong, ridden by Surge, and in behind it, Capital Commander. The 3 of them running along. There was a good break at one stage back to Solomon, who was on the outside or even in front of it, but of home on the wing, and he timed his run to perfection. Well, when they did top the rise or flattened out, he was just sitting pretty, and everything was under pressure. Even the second horse was full bore index link chasing him, and the third horse Martin Vaz, and he was sitting up pretty. Karen on the winner, and said, well, you have to say to yourself, as soon as he lets this go, which he did, it put 2 lengths on him. Well, it got a good break. Most probably did get 2 lengths in front, but finished up only winning by 0.4 of a length, 0.5 to the third horse, and 0.7 to the fourth horse, reigning a $21 into $17 chance. So, you know, I suppose it wasn't as good a win as I thought it was. Race 6, and it just made me think of something, another thing in racing. I think that the system they have, of course, down in Victoria, where you don't have to trial horses. John Size was the one, we had barrier trials here, but now barrier trials coming out of everybody's ears, out of their terriers. Barrier trials, everyone said, oh, the benefits the punters, the trainers, most of the benefits us, we get them ready to get to the racetrack. But when this business about benefiting punters, it's most probably the classic example. I always forget the name of this horse. At Rose Hill one day, of course, it was owned by the Chickens, and it was trained by Vicky Thompson. It was 33s to 6 to 4, and it jumped at barrier trial at Warwick Farm. It was put in the barrier, came out of the barrier, then grabbed hold of, and the margin was 99.9 lengths. Of course, nobody could. It was trained in the dark, and the punters who were not only on course but off course, I'd say that they benefited a lot more than they would have if that horse had trialled and shown exactly what it could have done. Because if you didn't get the 33s or the 25s or the 20s or the 16s, 15, 14, 13, 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 15 to 2, 7, 13 to 2, 6, 11 to 2, 5, 9 to 2, 4, 15 to 4, 7 to 2, 13 to 4, 3, the 11 to 4, 5 to 2, 9 to 4, the 2, the 15 to 8, the 7 to 4, well, you're not a real good shopper. Start at 6 to 4. If it would have trialled, I said, now come on, we've got this horse here now, and we'll show everybody in the world about it. And what bookies would have put it up 4 to 6, 4 to 6. Everyone would have been guessing. It would have got out to evens, and no one would have been on it. Oh well, I don't know. Yes, maybe. No, I don't know really. It's better the other way around, I think. Race 6, I think I said 105.8, 97% only in the marketplace. This was a strong win by Emblems, ridden by Clever Karen, taken straight to the lead with Agista sitting on its outside. He didn't have to go really fast, but he did run along at a nice pace where no runner was more or less going to make a run until they'd got to the turn, because he was getting along at the right speed. Did it get trapped 3 wide in the run? It could have Field Marshall, maybe a little bit wide, but it was a bit disappointing and very hard to lay in the marketplace. $4.40 out to $6 Field Marshall. But as I say, it was taken straight to the lead Emblems, and after they'd flattened out, this horse kept on going. It was in the 1-1 position, Tahitian Black, ridden by Bowman, and it was beaten 2.3 lengths by the favourite Emblems, who we put up a 7 to 4 chance, did get out to $3.20, plenty of it, and came back into about $3.10, still available when they jumped. Race 7, 103.8 on the screen, 97 only in the marketplace. And who won this race? Miniature. A very good ride by Clever Karen, but did you see the ride of Bowman on 2 Blue? Fair dinkum. Someone point out to me, someone tweet me or tell me what the story was, what he was looking down to his offside there when they were turning for home. Nothing could get up on the inside, and he's looking on the inside. Nobody can work out why he didn't get off down the side, why he didn't get off the fence, and he could have got onto the back of Quick's the Word. Clever Karen would have had to come around him then. It was a very, very poor ride. He finished up after Clever Karen had got past the 2 leaders, Dream Empress, who's not worth a caser, and in my opinion, Quick's the Word, sitting on the south side. It's another baked rabbit. When they started to give in, Miniature was in the 1-1 position by now, swinging for home. How he was in there, nobody knows, Bowman. But anyway, McAvoy, he moved up. He was travelling very sweetly, got past the leaders. Of course, he had to ease after losing his momentum on 2 Blue, had to ease off their heels and go out after a Miniature. But of course, the bird had flown and got beat 0.5 of a length. And coming from last down the outside was Taya, and it was only 0.8 of a length away. These were the riders in this race: bar Bowman on 2 Blue, Father Schofield, Serge Disneyland, Brilliant Brendan Abdullah, Mrs. A. Stokes, P. Roble, Ms. W. Constant, J. Ford, and Clever Karen on the winner. Put any one of them on 2 Blue, it would have got the cash. In the last race, they said there was 111.3. Oh my God, over 10% on the blackboard. I think they didn't cheer the robots, and I must admit there were positive figures in the main ring. There was about 6 less, about 105. But who won the race? It absolutely trotted in. It was won by Messine. This Nettie is a lot better than I thought it was. It was resuming from a spell. Apparently it has trialled very well. We put it up, a $3 chance, 2 to 1 the field, we'll say, and it got out to plenty of $3.50 and came in to start about $3.10. But I think Muggins here, well, the best luck was $3.10. Bet $3.50 and I was $3.40 when they jumped. It sat in 4th position. When they turned for home after flattening out, it was always on his back, the second horse, Babel, who copped a minor check in the run. And Clever Karen, after they'd flattened out, for a couple of strides, one thought that he might just ease off his heels and come and beat Messine. But Messine, it flattened out very strongly, and it went on to win by 2.5 lengths, and will only improve from Babel, and it was a further 4.5 lengths, so it was 6.5 lengths back to the third horse, the stablemate to the second place getter, Babel, and that is Soldad. It had every possible chance, and it, as I say, was beaten very easy. First and second had a lap on the others in that race. That was about the meeting. Well, of course, we took a. They just hang on. I'll fairly can pass out here in a minute. If you knew what this tasted like. Oh my God. Oh. Whew. Whew. You can drink buckets of it. Of course, today, after being, I didn't know what time of day it was when I got up this morning. I was in such a coma, and I went to Hawkesbury and worked. And again, the punters just gave. There was a couple of pros there, and they won. They won. Plenty of the favourite won the first race. Favourite won the second race. Who won the next race? Oh, the second pick won the next race. The next race was won by the Avery. The next race was won by a run of 50s into 30s. Big result. I laid it at 40s. The next race was won by a runner that was $11 into $7. And the last race, only 7 races, the winner was $8.50 into $6.50. Very well backed. It was very, very hard to win. We're in the middle of the track at Hawkesbury. That's where they bury bookies. And it's a great place. It's a great place. the wind, there was a light, didn't have any effect, light nor'easterly. The track there today was good. The rail was 2 metres out from the 1,000 to the 400, and then it became true. Of the 7 races, there was only 1 leader to win. I don't think there was any bias. You could lead, but only 1 leader did win with the extended straight now at Hawkesbury. It just makes that a little bit harder for leaders to get home with that extra run-in. But there were quite a few runners that got good runs and some that came from behind and made up plenty of ground. There were a few people at Hawkesbury today, but this Sunday racing, for racing people, can't you give us a little bit of rest? Do we have to work 363 days a year? Good evening.